What's up? What's up? Troy Mosby here with Camp Broadside. We got a special guest today. His name's Petey Cox. Hi, Petey. How you doing, man?
What's up, Troy? How you doing?
I'm doing good. Enjoying this beautiful weather.
Heck yeah, it's nice out. Finally,
Yeah.
we're getting it. Finally, we're getting it.
Hey, if we could get that wind to die down just a bit, then I think we might be golden.
Yep. I'm hoping it's the end of all this ugly snow and sleet and rain and storms. I'm hoping it's the end of it. I hope we start getting these good days now.
Yes, sir. I'm right there with you, man. I'm right there with you. So I met Petey on one of the saddle hunting groups I'm in. I'd made a post about people that had successful 2024 seasons, deer or whatever they wanted to talk about, and Petey caught my eye, man. He posted this little video clip, and you could just feel the excitement in him, that adrenaline in him with this buck he had killed, and he had just killed it. And man, it really caught my attention. And I thought, man, how cool would it be to get him on here? Hey, Petey, you're my first guest, bro. You're first guy on Camp Broadside.
Man,
So,
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's a blessing. It truly is. It's a blessing for sure.
yeah, I'm hoping we can start this cool stuff where we just sit and talk hunting stories, and you're gonna lead us off, and you had a great buck, and I want to hear your story. So, why don't you go ahead and tell us where you're from, tell us who you are, how you got into hunting, what kind of hunting you do, what kind of gear you use, and then we'll get into the main buck story after that.
Yep. My name's Petey. Well, they call me Petey. My real name's Jastin, but everybody knows me by Petey, so I love when people just call me Petey. But I'm from
Gotcha.
Kansas. I'm from Kansas, small town, really, really small town. Northeast Kansas. Um, got into hunting. I hunted when I was younger, from 8 to about 11 and a half, and then I got out of it. And then got back into it recently here, beginning of 2020, end of 2019. And this is when I'm getting into compound hunting, compound bow hunting specifically. So now I'm a bow hunter. Been into it now for a good 5 years, loving it. Killed my first buck this year. Um,
Nice.
Man, it's just a cool experience. It's definitely, I think, something everybody should experience at least once in their
Man,
lifetime, even if you're not into it.
you ain't lying. There's just nothing like it, man. Just
Yeah.
I always say you're out there in the nature. You're watching animals and they have no idea you're even there. And so you're
Oh
seeing
yeah,
them just in their natural habitat. And
in their
it's
natural
how they
habitat. It's
act when they're
dope.
not running from you. You know what I'm saying? So
Yep,
it's really
yep.
cool
It's
to see
dope.
that stuff, I think.
Watching the woods come alive, like getting in there dark when it's still dark, and just watching that sunrise come up, and all the birds start
Oh yeah.
chirping, squirrels start moving. It's
It's a blessing for sure. Blessing for
Yeah,
sure.
nature is a dope experience. Nature is
Yeah, you
definitely a
ain't
dope
lying. I'm
experience.
right there with you. I feel that 100%. So, all
Yes,
right, Petey. So, I'm gonna show a picture of this buck that I got. I just took a copy of it, but I thought everybody should see what we're talking about there. If that comes through
first
clear, that's
one.
Petey and his buck, and yeah, he was really excited about that, and I would have been too. So I thought, let's go, bro. Let's hear your story, man. Tell us how it went down, how you got into it.
Heck yeah. Friday afternoon, I had like I was telling you earlier, I took a job up in Iowa, so I'm back and forth a lot. So during hunting season, I was back and forth, trying to get back and get out in the woods as much as I can. But Friday afternoon, I took the half a day off and ended up getting up here in time and got on out there to the woods. And cool experience, solo hunt, first buck, solo hunt, 30-yard shot. Let's walk you guys through this amazing experience.
Yeah, right.
Um, and I usually saddle hunt. Let's get into that first. So I usually saddle hunt, usually out of a saddle. And this one time I was just decided I'm going to leave the saddle in the truck. I'm just going to hunt the ground. No ground blind. I'm just up against a tree. Just I would say, an old Indian way, I guess I could say. Up
Right.
against the tree, baby. And
Ain't
we're
no
just out
hiding
there
me. I'm
enjoying
right.
it.
I'm right here, out in
Oh
sight.
yeah, it's oh yeah. And another thing, man, that right there just tells me it don't really take much to kill deer. And I know that everybody loves the saddles and everything, and I enjoy them. I enjoy being up in a tree, and I think it's more of my experience of getting up in that tree and just having that good experience every time.
Yeah.
But that did. So let's get into it. I got out there and I'm setting up and right around the rut time, so deer are moving. It gets to that time in the woods where, the deer are active, sun's dropping, you're starting to see that sunset, the deer start moving, you see your does coming out and your yearlings moving around, and so I'm there and I hear them in the woods 20 yards in front of me, and I hear them in there and they're moving around and jumping. So this little bitty 2-year-old 10-point walks out, and a few other doe walk out too. And at this point, they're on the trail right in front of me, maybe 7 to 10 yards, 7 to 11 yards, and there's 3 does, a baby, two regular does, a baby doe, and then that little 2-year-old 10-point. And they're all walking out, but I had peeked around this tree and I see that the deer I killed. I see him looking at me through the bush, and I think everybody's had that experience where you get caught off guard with that
It's almost
monster.
eye to eye. You're like,
Yeah,
oh
eye to
crap.
eye, and you get caught off guard, and it stuns you so much you actually don't
Yeah.
want to move. You're just in a
And
trance almost.
like you said earlier, it's like, how long has he been there? How long has he
Yeah,
actually been looking at me?
yeah, how long has he been staring over this way? How long has he
Yeah.
been locked on me? So he comes out, and I don't got nothing. I don't really have nothing ready yet. Bow's not up yet, but now I'm to the point to where now it's getting real. It's time's ticking, and
Your heart starts
so
beating, blood
heart's
starts
beating,
pumping.
adrenaline's rushing. Yep, you're shaking
Yeah,
a little bit. You're trying to calm the heartbeat down. Every hunter, if you've been out there in that deer stand, you've experienced
for sure.
that
And that's one
experience
of the
before.
greatest feelings you can get out there.
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. It's hard to be beat now that I experienced it once. It's hard to beat that adrenaline rush, that right there. But I
Do you
finally
do
had.
do you do
Go ahead.
do you do like I'll be out there and I'll be I'll see some deer coming in and I'm thinking I'm not gonna shoot that deer. That's not what I'm after today. Whatever. I don't get that feeling like I want to shoot him, but it's still a game. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Yep,
like
yep, 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 yep.
I still got to be undetected. You know what I mean? You got to
Yeah,
get through
yeah,
here
no.
without knowing I'm here. And if you
Yep,
do
yep,
that,
yep,
if I can do that, I won that game. I feel like, you know what I'm
yep,
saying? Maybe
yep.
they let
Every
me win
time.
sometimes, but I feel like I won because they didn't know I was there. And it's my
For
heart will still
sure.
be beating. I'll still be like, oh crap.
Heck
And
yeah.
and then
Heck
there's
yeah.
even been times where I've been like, nope, that's the one. I'm shooting it today. No matter either way, I'm shooting it.
Oh
But
yeah.
anyway, sorry.
Oh
Go
yeah.
ahead.
No, you're good. And
Yeah, yeah.
so I got my finally had. It's been maybe I locked eyes with that buck, and we've locked eyes for maybe 25 seconds, 30 seconds, and finally I'm to the point to where now I can get my bow up, get everything situated. He's probably at 39 to 40 yards behind the bush, so I get my bow up, and finally he comes around the corner. Now, mind you guys, the 3 doe and the little 10-point still in 10 to 12-yard range,
It's still
7
right
to 12.
there.
They're still right there in that area. So I get my bow up and I get drawn back, and I'm drawn back on him, and he's coming around the bush. He's walking towards me. Everything's planning out how I want it to go. And being out in the woods, it's hard to get the world and nature to do what you want it to do. But in this one experience, it was just everything's falling in my favor.
Yeah.
So I'm drawn back on him, and the doe's still around me and everything's going good. And one of the does decided when I drew back, I made some noise up against some bushes, and that's when I really caught the doe's attention. And there goes the stomping and blowing and female activity, I guess. I want to say it in a funny way. There goes the female activity.
And the big buck's still standing there looking at you.
and the big buck is still standing there looking at me. So the doe blows once, and I don't pay it no mind, and it blows again, and now I pay it a mind, and now I'm kind of angry at this little thing because you're about to mess up this nice deer that's right
Yeah.
here over to the left of me. So I'm drawn back on that buck, and he blew the second time. So I 180 over to that doe, and I'm on that doe now, and just in my head I'm thinking, if you blow again, I'm gonna send an arrow through, I'm gonna
It's
send an
over.
arrow through you. Yeah, I got a doe
You
tag on.
can't keep ratting me out. It's
Yeah,
over.
yes sir. I got a doe tag on reserve right now
Yeah.
just for this situation. So the at that point I'm on him for maybe 25 to 30 seconds, and that big buck starts taking its steps again. So now I look back over and I'm back on him, and he comes out, and now he's at 34, 35, 33 yards, just somewhere in there. At this point, I'm just kind of range finding with my eyes. I got pinpoints ranged out of where stuff is,
Yeah.
but once you're in that mode and you're drawn back, you're just kind of with your eyes ranging points that you know is that is close, that you could get a good shot.
Exactly.
So he's coming towards me, and he steps to about 32, and I finally had released that arrow. He's kind of quartered towards me, not too bad quartered towards me. Like I said earlier, I've seen worse and I've seen better. So,
Yeah.
but I finally let that arrow fly, and good, perfect shot. I couldn't have asked for a better shot. I couldn't ask for the bow to do anything different than what it did, for the arrow to do anything different for what it did. Everything was just perfect. And mind you, when I send the arrow, all the doe and that 10-point buck 2-year-old is still right there in the area. So when I send the
They're freaking
arrow,
out like, what just happened?
yeah, yep. So the big buck takes off, and I see the blood squirting, and I'm like, okay, perfect shot. I see where it hit. Everything's looking good. Now them deer are still around me, so I'm still trying to stay as quiet as I can. Mind you, first buck, I'm ready to scream at the top of my lungs. And what
Yeah.
do we say? I think you're an hour from me. I think if I would have let out that scream, you would have heard me,
Yeah, I'd
bro.
have heard it here in
You would,
Kansas City. Yep,
yeah, you would have heard me way down there at your
for
property
sure.
screaming at the top of my lungs. But man, and I finally let everything calm down. And first deer, I was out solo, so I did kind of go tracking him kind of fast, I would say. It's definitely something, I mean, I learn every time I'm out there, and that was one of the
Right.
things. One of the biggest things I learned, is give that deer time to go and be alone and kind of take its time and just be with itself as his time's coming to an end.
Yeah.
So I did track him kind of
That's a pretty
early, and
cool way of looking at it for sure.
yeah, for sure. And I wish I would have I tracked him and got a blood trail, and after about 2.5 hours, honestly, I should have just pulled out because we jumped him once. So I
Mm.
should have just pulled out, let him go do his thing, and then continued tomorrow morning and went back out and got him. But I was so anxious and just so
Hey,
happy.
that's hard. That's hard to do, especially when you start talking my first buck. You know what I mean? My
Yeah,
first big buck.
your
It's
first
hard to
one.
just sit back and go, "Yeah, let's give it till tomorrow." I don't
Oh
know.
yeah. And so for my first one, me and Bubby were always talking about like big 140s, and just getting that chance to kill that 140 and 150. And it was a
Yeah.
solo hunt, so when I called Bubby, I'm like, first one, I'm like, Bubby, I just shot a freaking giant. Like, I just killed the buck of a lifetime. And looking back on it now, for sure, being out there, my first one, that is the buck. Like, a lot of people don't get to shoot very nice bucks. First one's
Yeah,
like that. And that's something that's very a blessing to me. But I
for
called
sure.
Bubby, and I'm telling him I killed a big deer. And he's like, is it big, or are you just overly happy, excited? And I'm telling him, like,
Nah,
I
he's
know I'm
big.
happy. No, yeah, I know I'm happy, but no, he's big. And finally we had found him, and Bubby looked up at me and he said, is that the deer you shot? And I'm like, yeah, that's him. And he's like, dude, you freaking smoked the giant. And I'm like, yeah,
Yeah.
it's dope. It's definitely dope
Yeah.
for sure.
So how far
For
did he
sure.
end up going total from where you shot him?
Man, it was probably 470 yards, 500 yards. He
Hmm.
ran towards the truck though. So I am
Oh,
not
that's
mad
always
about that.
good.
I'm not mad. Yeah, he ran towards. He dropped probably about 160, 150 yards away from the truck. I was well over 600, 700 yards away from the truck as
Oh,
my
that's
walk in. So
amazing.
yeah, big boy through thick brush too. I'm right up against the riverbank, and it is so thick in there. Almost,
Uh-huh.
man, it's a thick walk. Like to walk through there, sometimes me and Bubby just, I know at now with saddles and everything, you want to take, everybody's getting to take the least amount of things to the woods that they can. That's the
Yeah.
number one goal, to take the least
Mobile,
amount of
light and
things.
mobile.
Yep, light and mobile. And sometimes walking through there, I regret sometimes even taking my platform. I'm like, man, I should have. It gets hung up on trees and sticks and
Just
branches,
big.
and
Yeah.
yeah, it's a nightmare sometimes. But it's a very good hunt. There's some nice mature deer back
Is it
there.
public land or private land?
Public and private, so it butts up against private land, but there's a public land access that
Gotcha.
runs the river bank up to the levee that really nobody can ever own, because the levee, the city and the states and all that stuff has to own that up there,
Gotcha.
up
Yeah.
up to that levee in that area. But it's a dope experience. There's some big mature deer back there. Actually,
Yeah.
I just went out shed hunting. Crazy that we just got on here. So I ended up finding this big boy. Just a massive of a,
Oh shoot! Look how fat that is.
yeah, this right here is probably every bit of $50 in
Yeah,
mass for
dude, that's a
sure. He's a
nice
nice.
shed.
Yeah, so I searched out there. I found him, and I searched and searched for his other side. Couldn't find it. But we have him on trail camera too. I'll shoot you over a picture of him, Troy. And
Yeah.
we had him on there. You know, when they're in their, when they still have their hair on their antlers, you know, they look so much
The
more
velvet. Yeah.
massive. Yep, they look so much more massive
Yeah.
than what they do once they start scraping them off. And we have him on trail cam. I'll shoot you over a picture. He's
Oh,
just
nice.
he's a nice.
So he's still down there. That's not the one you call Moose, is it?
No, sir. Actually, I would like to shoot you over a picture of Moose too. Maybe somehow we can edit it in at the end and put a few
Yeah.
pictures of him on there. But so when we first seen Moose, his left side is we named him Moose because it's palmated. So like he got the 10 or 11-inch brow tines sticking up. They're humongous. But his left side's palmated, so it comes up as like a palm, and then all his G1, G2, and G3s flake out. It's just
Oh yeah.
it's it's almost identical as a moose. Being
Yeah.
it's a whitetail, they don't get that big, but it's his antlers just the same as a moose. And that was
Yeah.
in 2023. He didn't palmate in 2024, but he put on some inches.
Size. Yeah.
Oh man, he put on some inches. And his main
That's the
beams
one
come
you're
out.
still gunning for.
I'm still gunning for him. Yeah, that's number one hit list buck for next year on my hit list, number one. And like I said, I didn't tell the story right here, but I told you Moose was my target for last year. But when I seen that nice 11 walk through there, nice and wide, that's hard to pass up as a first deer,
Oh
sitting
my
out there in them
goodness.
woods. And
Yeah, for
but Moose
sure.
was my target for sure. But next year I'm running and
Hey, at
gunning
least you
for
know
one deer.
he's still kicking though. So
Oh yeah, oh yeah, oh yeah. He's still kicking. We've seen him, and we want to say he's about to be 6.5 this year, maybe 7. We haven't really
uh,
just dialed in on him, but we're thinking he got that mass, he got that big under the neck drop down, he got the body weight to him. We want to say he's getting up there. And we
yeah,
really wanted to kill him I really wanted to kill him 2024 season, because we're so scared of deer losing antlers once they get to that specific
yeah.
age,
Because they'll definitely start going backwards.
yeah, they'll start going backwards, and you never know when it's going to happen.
Yeah,
And I guess that's the beauty with nature. One day he could be a 190, and then next year fall off, and he just drop
yeah. Not even
175,
close to what he was.
what he was. Yep, and that's the gamble, I guess, that you take on passing
Yeah,
them more mature deer than 5.5-year-olds. You're thinking, hey, I give him till next year. That's
yeah.
that 50-50 chance you take that he might not be that same
Yeah, especially if
deer.
he's
So
old and mature, you just never know.
yeah, you just never
Yeah.
know. So I'm
I
hoping this
always go
year.
by that. I always go by that, man, where it's, I may have I quit using cameras because several years ago, I got stuck, man. I got stuck on a buck, and I followed this buck. Which it was kind of cool. I followed him for 3 years, man,
Uh
and
huh.
I had like just 2 or 3 encounters with him, and I was just like, man, I kept getting pictures and pictures. I'd find his sheds, and I was like, oh yeah, this I'm gonna smoke this sucker. So I
Uh huh.
let a lot of other deer go, just in hopes that I'd get a shot at this deer. And I caught him Old Gray, and he was massive. And dude, one day I was sitting there and I was just kind of scrolling through Facebook, and all of a sudden I was like, hit the brakes, you know what I'm saying? I'm like, that looked like Old Gray in that picture. And I scroll back down and it was a local hunting group. And I'm
Uh huh.
like, man, that looks like my deer. And I clicked on the dude that shot it, and he lives right down the road from me, he lives in the same little town as me. So I'm like,
Yeah.
dude, this dude shot my deer, man. So I sent
Man,
him a
man,
message and
man.
I was like, bro, you shot my deer, my buck. And he goes, what do you mean? He goes, I've been following this buck for 3 years. I said, I've been following that buck for 3 years. I said, I got sheds of his, you know what I mean? I said,
For
we both
sure,
hunt
for
the same
sure.
buck,
We're both.
but he
Eh,
he eluded both of us for 3 years, but that sucker got him, which I was happy
heck
for that
yeah.
dude, because
Heck yeah. You
especially
got to
it,
be
it was
happy
cool
for the other
because
one.
he'd been putting in the work like I had. So
Yep,
it was
yep,
like,
yep,
yeah, all
yep,
right, at least it wasn't
yep.
just a random encounter with somebody else. So
Yeah,
but it was
yeah.
disappointing. So after that, I was just kind of like, you know what, man? I'm gonna. I quit using cameras, and I had some messing up on me. They became work, and I said, I'm tired of just being focused on one deer. I want that excitement, that new. Like I don't know what's out here. I can't tell you what's out here. I know there's
Yep,
decent
yep,
deer,
yep.
but I can't tell you what's out here. And so when you're sitting there, now you got to make a decision when this buck comes in. Are you gonna take this buck, or you don't know what else is out here? You're gonna wait for
Or you
another
don't.
one. You're gonna wait. You know what I mean? And I love that
Yes,
excitement
sir.
and that having to choose. I go off of, you know what? There may be bigger ones here, but there's something about this one I want it. My heart's saying
Yep,
take this
yep.
one, so that's what I go
That's
off of. I try to
that's what
hold
I
off for
like to
the
do.
big suckers, but sometimes I just go off of my heart, and if it says take that one, I'm taking it.
Heck
So
yeah, heck
yeah.
yeah. That's what I
What
like to
I
do.
meant to ask you, what gear are you using, man? What bow do you
Um,
shoot?
Yep. So right now I'm shooting a Matthews Monster Series 7. I want to say the axle to axle's 32. Not 100% sure though. And right now we're running Hawk Helium, the whole setup, saddle, platform, sticks, running the whole Hawk Helium setup. So it's amazing.
Gotcha.
I'm thinking upgraded. Bubby just upgraded to, I want to say, is that Ape Canyon? Is that who makes them
Yep.
saddles? Ape Canyon. It's Ape Canyon. He
Ape
just
Canyon
upgraded
makes
the
a
Ape
saddle.
Canyon. Yep, he just upgraded the
Yeah.
Ape Canyon saddle with
That group,
um.
that group we're in, they say a lot of good things about Ape Canyon in that group. I read it a
Oh yeah,
lot that
oh
they're
yeah,
good
oh yeah,
saddles and whatnot.
oh
Yeah.
yeah. I've
Now
heard a
I have
lot
to
from I've
say,
heard a
I'm just
lot from
gonna
Bubby.
put it out there. I haven't tried an Ape Canyon saddle, so I can't say one way or another. But I've tried a lot of other saddles, and I'm a diehard Buzzard Roost guy, man. I think
There
that
you go.
saddle is the most comfortable saddle you can get. I don't know how you can get more comfortable. You know what I mean?
Mo-
So I've lost that urge to seek out other saddles. Not saying I wouldn't try one if somebody said, "Here, check this out," because I know there's a lot of good saddles out there. You know what I
oh
mean?
yeah, oh
And
yeah.
and some of them are different for each body type and whatever, and some of it's just a connection you have with the people. There's a lot of good owners and stuff, and customer service is crazy good in
Yep,
the
yep,
saddle
yep,
industry, I think.
yep.
So you really can't go wrong there with a lot of different saddles. It's all going to be what you end up preferring. I prefer the Buzzard Roost. um Other people prefer other saddles and whatever, but that's what I was telling you about in that earlier before we got on here was that group, KC Area Saddle Hunters. If you hit this group up, we get together at least once a year. We tr- uh, Everybody brings their own gear. You try on the gear. If you want to try on a specific saddle, you can try it. If you want a
Yep,
platform, you can
yep,
try
yep,
it because we've had everything there from
yep,
JX3s to one stick and to every platform you can imagine. And so it's really cool way to check stuff out. Buzzard Roost, they'll come up with us and hang out with us. at the show and stuff, and so it's always cool for people to meet them and actually get to check out a Buzzard Roost saddle, get it in your hands. I also know there's a Lance Coleman and Benny Lance Coleman and Saddle Cartel. They he's doing a deal where they got a Buzzard Roost. They're sending it around, and people are
Yep,
getting
yep,
to
yep,
try it.
yep,
You seen that?
yep.
Yeah, which that's super cool, man. I thought, what a heck
Heck
of an
yeah,
idea,
that's
man.
heck yeah,
So
that
yeah,
saves somebody from going out and buying that stuff.
yeah,
Like you was saying earlier, going out buying that stuff, and just what if you come to a point to where you just kind of it don't sit right with you, or you just can't get
yeah,
comfortable in it. That makes it to
yeah,
where you can try that on before you even go out and spend that $500 or $600 on that saddle.
yeah.
Make
And
sure
don't
you
get
can
me
get comfortable
wrong.
with it.
Don't get me wrong. I know that sometimes it takes some time and some sits into a saddle to really to
Yep, yep,
know if
yep,
it's
yep,
for
yep,
you, if it's comfortable. I mean, I've actually worn saddles and thought, man, that's super nice. And then a month later, I'm just like, dang, I keep having to move. And I don't like it,
yep.
you know. And so I feel like you got to have that time, but it does give you a starting point. If there's a saddle you're interested in, and I just say, for example, the Buzzard Roost, and you're like, man, I want to check it out, and you put it on, it gives you an idea right then, like, I think I can make this.
I
I
think
think this
yep,
could be
yep, yes
comfortable,
sir,
you know. And
yes
so
sir.
it's
And
just,
it's with anything, it's hard to try something out one time and have a good open-minded thought on that one thing to say,
yeah,
yeah, I can do that, or no, I don't like that. Like it's going to take, even with saddle, like for saddles instance, it's going to take you 2 or 3 times to get out there and be put in uncomfortable situations in that saddle to be able to really give a good
yeah,
review on if you like that saddle and if that saddle's good. Like it's going to take some times out there in the woods, just being out there with it, walking to your tree, walking back, seeing how it is on your carry. Is it heavy? Does this a pinch point between the ropes? Like all of that comes into play when reviewing these saddles. So
yeah, dude,
hopefully somebody just ain't getting in one saddle and is just saying, oh, I don't like that one. It's going
yeah,
to take just a few times, some experiences to understand that setup
yeah.
and understand how you like it. So,
Yeah, but you do get those people though. They'll put on a saddle and they'll get on there and claim this is the best saddle on the market. You know what I mean? And I'm like,
oh
that's
yeah,
cool
oh
that
yeah,
they think that, but you got to get your butt into some other saddles too. You know what I mean? And to
yep, yep,
really
yep,
know,
yep.
is that the best saddle on that
Is
you can
that
get
yep?
for
And it's
you? You
good
know what
to
I mean? I
have
don't know. And the
almost
same
like
goes
that.
with platform sticks.
Everything,
Platform people
everything.
like some people like the smaller. I got a buddy Bartlett. He lives here in town, and he likes the bigger platform. You know, and
Yep,
I
yep,
tend to
yep,
like the smaller platform because I like to be close and up against the tree
yep.
almost. You know what I'm saying? So
As compacted and little as
yeah,
you can be up
but
against that tree.
you're not going to know that until you get your feet on it and spend some
Yep,
time
yep,
in it.
yep.
So it's just a cool way to for people to get to. It's an excuse to get together, BS about hunting, BS about saddles, try on all kinds of different saddles, platforms, sticks. There's a
Heck
range there,
yeah.
shoot the bows. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a good excuse to
A
get
good
together
time.
and
Yep, a good
hang
time.
out. You know, so. Well, hey, Petey, love your buck, man. That was a beautiful buck. I love your excitement, especially in that little clip, man. And that got me. You know what I mean? I was like, dang,
Heck
that's a
yeah.
great feeling. And it's cool when you know other people feel that exact same way as you do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It was cool that, like in that Saddle Cartel, everybody shows the love of every
Yeah,
buck. And I even see little bucks on there. I see big bucks on there. I see doe on there. Everybody shows the love, just the love of
exactly.
the hunt and the white-tailed deer.
Yeah.
Everybody is always happy with everybody's kills. Everybody always got good information. They're always uplifting on them on that Saddle Cartel website and
I'm
on them
always willing to
podcasts.
help.
Yep, always willing to help. Everybody stepping in as one unit. It's just like you can really feel the love, really.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a definitely. I tell them all the time, man. I'm like, you guys did a great job on this group. You know,
Heck yeah, heck
it's
yeah.
thriving. It's doing well. So and you can see it. So it's cool. You know,
Yep,
it's cool to
yep.
be in it. And yeah. So and then it's cool to meet cool people like you. You know what I'm saying? So and
Heck
a lot of these
yeah.
saddle groups. They're full of cool people. If you ever take the time just to stop and talk to somebody, you know what I mean, you find out, man, this guy's cool as heck, you know, and
Yep, yep, yep.
It's
It's
just
so
the saddle
crazy how
world, the hunting world, you know.
yeah, the hunting world. It's so crazy
Yeah,
how big the world is, but actually how small it is
yeah,
all at
yeah.
the
I never
same
would have dreamed
time.
you were an hour from me, dude. I was like, what? That's crazy.
Yes, yes, yes. It's so crazy how close that we really are
Yeah,
together. And like I was thinking in that group, everybody's from all over, and it's weird because most of the time when I see stuff, I see like Ohio and like Texas and like just people that ain't really from that tri-state Missouri, Iowa, Kansas, Nebraska area right there.
yeah,
And then to hear you're from Kansas City, that's just like
yeah, dude.
one right down the road, 40 minutes,
Yeah.
50 minutes down the road from you. So
Yeah,
that's
yeah. When you
definitely
said
dope.
Elwood, I was like, man, I've rode my motorcycle through Elwood several
Yep,
times. You know what I
yep,
mean?
yep, yep,
Just out
yep.
riding around. So yeah, it's not far at all. But definitely cool to meet you, man. I look forward to friendship with you, dude, and to talk more hunting. You know, and heck, we get together, hang out, shoot bows or something. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
So
sir. Yes, sir. You're right down the
definitely.
road. You're right down the road.
Yeah,
Hopefully
definitely
we get this.
appreciate your time and your
Yes,
energy,
sir.
brother. And I appreciate you sharing your story with us, man. It was a great story, and I wish you nothing but success for 2025 season. And
Same
I
to
hope you
you.
just
Same
go
to
shoot
you.
your bow.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Same to you. I appreciate you for having me on here, especially as the first guest. Man,
Yeah, bud.
that's a blessing. That's a blessing.
Yeah. Hopefully you'll be the first guest of many, and we'll get you back on here next year for your
Heck
monster buck
yeah.
next year, bro.
Heck
Maybe
yeah.
your
Heck
land old
yeah.
moose next year. So
I'm praying. Hey, I hope everybody that watches this sends me the prayers. I'm sending mine to you guys on your guys' number ones, and everybody just go out and get their number ones this year and just be one big happy family. I like it. I
heck
like
yeah.
it.
For sure. Well, thanks everybody. I appreciate you stopping by and checking out PD and listening to his story. And we got some other guests lined up for the near future, so hopefully you'll tune into those. And I hope we definitely entertained you and kept your attention. So appreciate everybody. Thank you again, PD, and
Yes, sir.
have a
Thank
good
you.
one.
You too.